Before I say anything, before you judge me, before you decide who I am, just do one thing. Hit subscribe. Because what you're about to hear isn't just a story, it's a confession. And once you hear it, you won't forget it. I never thought I'd be the kind of person who carries a secret like this, the kind of secret that doesn't just haunt you, it reshapes you. But here I am. And if you're still watching, then you're about to hear the truth, not a softened version, not something cleaned up for sympathy, just the truth, exactly as it happened. I have been faithful to my husband in every way people usually measure loyalty. I never searched for someone else, never chased attention, never let another man tempt me. But betrayal doesn't always look the way people expect. Sometimes it hides in places no one dares to look. My story didn't begin with desire.it, didn't begin with rebellion.it, began with loss. And the person I betrayed my husband with was my father. Before you go any further, you should know this. This story deals with grief, with boundaries that should never be crossed, with choices that don't just change your life, they stay in it. If that makes you uncomfortable, this is your moment to leave. But if you stay, then you'll hear everything. No excuses, no justifications, just the raw truth of how I became someone I no longer recognize. My name is Liliana. I'm 32 years old. And if you saw my life from the outside, you'd think it was perfect. A husband who adores me, a home that feels safe, a love story that most people spend their lives searching for. But perfection is often just a well-maintained illusion, because underneath it all, I carry something that never lets me breathe fully. A secret that follows me into every quiet moment. I met my husband, Raphael, when I was 16. We were the kind of couple people used as an example. Effortless, natural, steady. He was patient in ways I didn't even understand back then, kind without trying, loyal without question. He never raised his voice, never gave me a reason to doubt him. And I loved him. Maybe not in a dramatic, chaotic way, but in a safe, steady way. The kind of love that feels like home. So when I married him at 18, I didn't hesitate. It felt right. It felt certain. We built our life quietly. No chaos, no drama, just us. We decided early on that we didn't want children, and for a long time, that decision felt easy, until one day, it wasn't a choice anymore. When the doctor told me I couldn't have children, something inside me cracked. Not because I suddenly wanted them, but because it made me feel incomplete. Like something essential had been taken from me. Like I wasn't enough. I never told Raphael how deeply it affected me. I smiled. I said it was okay. Because that's what I do. I bury things. I push them down so far, even I forget they're there. But there was one thing I could never bury: my father. My father wasn't always the man he became. He used to be strong, present, the kind of father who showed up for everything. School plays, small victories, ordinary days. He made them all feel important. But when my mother got sick, everything changed. He didn't cry, didn't collapse, didn't break in ways you could see. He just faded, like something inside him slowly turned off. I remember the hospital, the quiet hum of machines, the sterile air, the way time felt suspended between hope and inevitability. I remember holding my mother's hand and hearing my father whisper to her like she could still hear him, "Stay, please, stay." But she didn't. She died just before my wedding, and I walked down the aisle in white, with my father beside me. But all I could think about was the empty space where she should have been. After that, he stopped living. He stayed in the house, sat for hours doing nothing, staring at walls like they held answers he couldn't reach. Grief didn't just touch him, it consumed him. So I started visiting more. It first, out of duty, then out of concern, and eventually, because I needed him too. We started talking, really talking, about things we never had before. Memories of my mother, stories I had never heard, moments that made him feel human again. For the first time in months, I saw glimpses of the man he used to be, and I held on to that because bringing him back felt like purpose, like something I could fix. But then the conversations changed. They became heavier, more personal, more intimate. He talked about loneliness, about waking up in the night expecting her to still be there, about the silence that followed him everywhere. I should have created distance. I should have recognized the shift, but I didn't. I stayed. I listened. I comforted him. And slowly, lines that should have never moved started to blur. It was small things at first. A hug that lasted a little too long. A touch that lingered just a second too much. The way he looked at me, like he was searching for something. And the worst part, I didn't stop it, because by then, something inside me had already changed too. One night, we were sitting in silence, the kind of silence that says more than words ever could. And he said something I can still hear clearly. I haven't touched anyone in years. I knew what he meant. I knew where it was going. And I had every chance to stop it. But instead, I said something that changed everything. You don't have to be alone. There was a pause. A long one. And then, everything shifted. What happened next didn't feel like passion. It didn't feel like love. It felt like filling a void, trying to repair something broken in the worst possible way. And when it was over, I expected to feel disgust, shame, something. But what I felt was relief, because for the first time in years, he didn't look empty. That's how I justified it. That's how I survived it. I told myself it was a one-time thing, something that would disappear if I ignored it. But it did, and single quotes T.it. Repeated. Again. And again. Until it became normal. I went home to my husband, kissed him, told him I loved him, slept beside him like nothing had changed. And then the next day, I went back. I became two people. A devoted wife by day. A secret I couldn't name by night. And the scariest part, I stopped questioning it. Everything stayed hidden. Until it didn't. My brother found out. Not through confession. Not through suspicion. But by walking into something that couldn't be explained away. And from that moment, everything changed. Because silence can be louder than exposure. He didn't tell anyone. Didn't confront me. Didn't explode. He just knew and carried it. And somehow, that made everything worse. Time passed. But nothing stayed stable. Not really. Because secrets don't stay contained. They spread. They rot everything slowly. And eventually, even the thing I thought I was holding together started slipping. My father moved on. Met someone new. Started rebuilding his life. And I was left standing in the wreckage of mine because I had given everything for something that was never meant to exist. Now, I sit in silence most nights next to a man who loves me, who trusts me, who has no idea who I've become. I hold my wedding ring and wonder when it stopped meaning what it used to, because the truth is, I don't know who I am anymore. And I don't know how this ends. But I do know one thing. Secrets like this don't stay buried forever. One day, everything will come to light. And when it does, it won't just break my life. It will destroy everything. So now I want to ask you something. If you had everything to lose, would you still chase something you were never meant to have? Tell me in the comments. And if this story made you feel something, if it stayed with you, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because some stories need to be heard.